Good evening, everyone. This concert tonight reminds me of a basketball game. What's the connection? I was watching this game one time. It was between the Los Angeles Lakers, and I don't remember what the other team was. But Magic Johnson came down with a defensive rebound. And right into the basket, he passed it all the way down the court to the opposite end, where one of his teammates dunked it for 2 points. And there was silence. The commentator for that game was Bill Russell, one of the greatest players, Boston Celtics, one of the greatest players of all time. And he's supposed to give the color commentary on extraordinary plays. There was dead silence. And after a moment, Bill Russell's voice came on and he says, "You saw it, folks. What can I say?" And then he summed it up in one word: unbelievable. Play of Magic Johnson. I once had a professor who said, the greatest sign of an intelligent person is someone who can put the most amount of knowledge in the smallest space in the shortest time and space. Shortest time. Well, I'm trying to see, was reflecting how I can summarize in the shortest way this presentation this evening of our chapel days and their magnificent concert. How can I put it into the shortest space in this 2 moments I've had since hearing there? Of course, the greatest expression of putting the most into the small space is what John said. John summarized Verse 100, John said, God is love. In trying to summarize tonight's concert, I came to many, many words. Fantastic, wonderful, awesome, beautiful, magnificent. And I couldn't choose which word most clearly expressed my sentiments, my feelings, my delight in listening to this concert tonight. So I rejected wonderful, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous, awesome, and got it into one word: ineffable. And ineffable means that what you experience from what you have received and witnessed and enjoyed cannot be put into words. And I simply cannot put into words what these young men and women have done tonight. I was reminded this afternoon by one of the organizers, don't forget that you are supposed to comment on O Holy Night. He reminded me, but I do not remember being reminded, so I had to go and try to figure out what would I say to this. So reflecting on a beautiful presentation of O Holy Night. Whenever there is a Christmas presentation, it's never complete without offering O Holy Night. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Christmas hymn. And where does that come from? It was first composed as a poem in French by a poet who was asked by his parish priest to prepare a Christmas poem. His name was Adolphe Adam, and this was in 1847. And he composed a poem about Christmas which he entitled Mi Chrétien, Midnight Christians. His name was, it was first put into music by XUCCA Fr, a wine merchant poet, who was asked to write this poem. And then, sometime later, a Protestant minister took this poem and put it into music. And it has become one of the most classical Christmas hymns throughout the ages. The original version of the poem, literal translation in French, midnight Christians, it is the solemn hour when God man descended to us to erase the stain of original sin and to end the wrath of his Father. The entire world thrills with hope on this night that gives the Savior. People kneel down, wait for your deliverance. Christmas, Christmas, here is the Redeemer. And that was put into music and underwent many, many versions. And the version we heard tonight was composed by John Sullivan's wife. O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining till he appeared, and the soul felt its worth. No Christmas program is complete without singing O Holy Night. And it's not easy to sing because it really reaches up into the very, very high notes. I remember when I was in Nigeria, an American Jesuit came over, and at our first Christmas program, he got up to sing O Holy Night. And he began at a rather high note, and everybody says, he won't be able to finish. But he was really an operatic tenor, and when he reached the final high notes, everybody got up and cheered and shouted and round, jumping on the floor. At the height of this acclamation to the holiest night in our world. And many of the famous singers have made that their own. Enrico Caruso, one of the most famous operatic tenors. And in December, this was composed first in 1847. And in 1906, Reginald Fessenden, a Canadian inventor, opened a radio station. And at the very, very first broadcast on AM radio in 1906, he played the record of On Parle, followed by him playing O Holy Night. So O Holy Night, he played the violin and he sang the final verse. So O Holy Night, that we heard sung so beautifully this evening, was the second piece of music ever to be broadcast on radio. It has been recorded by great tenor Caruso, the operatic tenor Xavier singing it in a Swedish version. Luciano Pavarotti recorded it. And the record that Pavarotti made of this was the first platinum record which he ever had. His recording of O Holy Night. Many other singers have recorded it. Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, and you can find it on YouTube by Josh Groban, Andrea Bocelli, and many of our favorite singers. Oh, Holy Night sums up the great mystery of God's love for us in sending His Son to be born among us as a man. And I can bear witness wonderful young men and women who, in preparing O Holy Night and all the other beautiful songs they sang, they spent whole nights in doing so, that we might enjoy their inspiration, their hard work, their presentation of the Christmas spirit, and singing for us O Holy Night. And one of my all-time favorites, which they did so beautifully, is one of the wonderful songs of the Madrigal Singers, Salvados. And I told them the other night when I heard them practice, I said, my favorite song of the Madrigal Singers is Salvados. And I said, I think you do it more beautifully than they. It's very obvious that so many academic undertakings and responsibilities and work and other things, how much time and effort they put into the preparing this extraordinary concert for us this evening. They are extraordinary people, and as Mr. Foxy said last year when he talked to the faculty, he said, I am not ashamed to tell my students that I love them, and I am not ashamed of it. Rather, very, very happy to say, you young people who have given us so much joy and beauty this evening, I not only appreciate you, but I really love you. One note of sadness. Sad to say this is the last time our President Xavier will be with us for Christmas. So I would like to invite Xavier to come up and give us his own Christmas word of appreciation for this marvelous presentation.